If you have a permit to carry a handgun issued in the state of New Jersey under NJS 2C58-4, can you currently carry where alcohol is served? That's what we're going to talk about today, folks. So I've been asked this question multiple times. I've had people say to me, oh, I carry here, I carry there. And it's important to know that this is a fluid situation. It's subject to change at any time. For people that don't know, NYSRPA versus Bruen, a landmark U.S. Supreme Court decision, happened June of 2022. That opened up the application process to responsible gun owners to apply for a carry permit, or as it's known in New Jersey, permit to carry a handgun. However, during that same year, Governor Murphy decided to have his legislators draft a, what I like to call, anti-carry law that he signed into place December of 2022, so about 6 months later, same year, basically banning carrying a handgun in New Jersey in the entire state. He even included private property open to the public in this new anti-carry law, which means like a gas station, for example, you pull up and you get gas. If you don't have express permission of the owner, which the owner's not going to be there at 2 in the morning, you can't carry a loaded handgun on your person to get gas, which is probably one of the most dangerous times in the middle of the night to be gassing up your car, right? You want to carry a gun at that time. He signed this law into place, and of course there were multiple lawsuits that were filed, and a couple were consolidated. Judge Renee Bum, the Federal District Court for New Jersey, had issued a preliminary injunction basically saying, no, you can't. There are many parts of this law that the plaintiffs have brought forth, and you know, there's a good chance they're going to win because they're unconstitutional. She issued this preliminary injunction. Of course, the state of New Jersey immediately appealed and filed an emergency relief saying, please keep the law in place until we file an appeal. A mid-level federal court of appeals said some of the stuff can stand, some of the stuff will not stand during the appeal process. So we're at this point where some stuff holds and some stuff doesn't, right? It's still pending. We're still waiting for the final outcome. But in the meantime, there are places that you cannot carry, or I would recommend that you do not carry pending the outcome of this case, right? If you go to the Association of New Jersey Rifle and Pistol Clubs, I'll put a link in there in the description. They are pretty good at keeping everybody up to date on filings, orders, injunctions, and currently where you can and cannot carry. Of course, this is not legal advice. I'm not an attorney, and they have a disclaimer as well. You should, if you're not sure, you should certainly seek legal counsel, right? If you're not sure. So while we are waiting the final decision, for now, for the duration of the appeal, gun owners cannot lawfully continue to carry in the following locations: within 100 feet of a public gathering, demonstration, or event requiring a government permit, a zoo, park, beach, recreational facility, or area owned by the state, a state, county, or local government unit designated as a gun-free zone, publicly owned or leased library or museum, bar or restaurant where alcohol is served, and any other site or facility where alcohol is sold for consumption on the premises. We're going to get back to that in a minute. Entertainment facility, casino or related facilities, healthcare facilities. However, the preliminary injunction still holds, meaning it's still blocked, and you can carry in these following places. Your vehicles. Remember, that was a big one. Governor Murphy in this new anti-carry law said you can't carry a loaded gun, even if you have a carry permit, in your own vehicle, which is absurd. So that is still blocked. So you are okay to carry in your own vehicle when you're with a permit to carry a handgun. Private property, that's blocked, meaning that the law about, oh, you can't carry on private property open to the public unless you have express permission of the owner. That is blocked, so you can carry on private property open to the public unless expressly denied by the owner. So if the owner says, I don't want you to carry a gun on my property, then obviously you have to comply with what the owner wants. Public film locations, that's still blocked. All right, so what's also still blocked is the insurance requirement. So currently you do not have to have liability insurance, which is part of that new anti-carry law. You currently do not have to have that in order to carry. Also certain permit procedures and requirements. So for example, part of the law required that your endorsements have in-person interviews. So that's still being blocked. So your endorsements do not have to be interviewed in person, but that's part of this new anti-carry law. Again, this impacts your rights during the appeal. Doesn't mean that the state of New Jersey is going to win. Hopefully they won't win. And hopefully a good part of this law will be permanently struck down, because in my opinion, a good part of it is unconstitutional. So stay up to date, because it is a fluid situation. So make sure you subscribe to our channel, because we try to keep everybody up to date with this stuff that's changing all the time. Also subscribe to the Association of New Jersey Rifle and Pistol Clubs. You can sign up, you can support them, you can sign up for a newsletter and email alerts. Check out their website. I put a link in the description. Under the safe carry part requirement of NJS 2C58.4.4, it says you cannot consume alcohol, a cannabis item, or a controlled substance while carrying a handgun, right? Which is good news, because you shouldn't, right? Also goes on to say you cannot be under the influence of alcohol, cannabis, or controlled substance while carrying a handgun. Also good news, because alcohol, drugs, and guns, in my opinion, don't mix well. That's fine, right? So if you're going to drink, you don't carry a gun. It's that simple. Under NJS 2C58.4.6, prohibited areas. Again, this is all part of the anti-carry law, which will hopefully, a good part of it will be struck down permanently. Prohibited areas: a bar or restaurant where alcohol is served, and any other site or facility where alcohol is sold for consumption on the premises. So think about this, folks. A diner, a lot of New Jersey diners serve alcohol. They have liquor licenses and they can serve alcohol. So it's 11 o'clock in the morning, the bar's open, you can order a beer, but you're sitting there having your breakfast, your eggs, your pancakes. Maybe there's 5-6 people in the whole diner, or 10 people in the diner. No one's drinking alcohol, but someone can order alcohol and can be served alcohol. To me, this falls under that. So as ridiculous as this sounds, you can't be sitting in the diner with your family having breakfast, not drinking, but because it's a bar or restaurant, it's a restaurant, right? And a lot of diners have separate bar areas, right? But where alcohol is served, or where alcohol is sold for consumption. Now, this is another thing that I wanted to point out. Some people have said, well, what about a bring your own, BYOB, bring your own. So you go to a restaurant where you bring your own wine. That doesn't count, right? Well, I don't know. This is a question for an attorney. To me, it's still being served, right? Even though they're not selling it, because part of the statute says a bar or restaurant where alcohol is served, and any other site or facility where alcohol is sold for consumption on the premises. So it's saying where it's served. So technically the waiter or waitress pours you your wine in a glass that they have and hands it to you. Technically they're serving it to you, right? And even if they don't do it, even if they only bring the glasses, or even if it's a beer and you open up the beer and you drink it out of the bottle, you're being served, right? Whether you're serving yourself, you're serving your spouse. So technically, I think if they wanted to get you, they could, right? Under the wording of the statute. So again, question for an attorney, but I wouldn't chance it until this thing is settled. I would think twice about carrying a gun in a place where alcohol is served or sold for consumption, even if you're not drinking it, because according to the statute, you can't drink anyway, right? When you're carrying. So that shouldn't even be a factor, right? You shouldn't be drinking anyway, but even if no one at your table is drinking, to me, this still is restricted, right? And that part was not blocked during this appeal. My suggestion is have a portable safe in your car if you don't already. You should, right? And if you have 2 cars, like you have a spouse or significant other, have a safe for their car as well, because you might be driving or riding with them and you might decide, hey, let's stop off here to eat. And, oh, they serve alcohol, I can't carry. So now you have to unload and secure your gun properly. And I would recommend one of these safes. I'll put a link in the description. Definitely get one of these or something similar. And if you have more than one car, definitely have more than one of these safes. Have one in each car. And if you want to see my video on safely unloading and loading in your vehicle, please also see the link in the description or the comments for that video. Folks, until then, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing to stay up to date on these important carry topics in the state of New Jersey. And if you like this video, please hit that like button and share it with anyone you think will benefit. And as always, thanks for watching. Take care and stay safe.